11 people were killed last weekend in the Western Cape province. The shootings unfolded in Khayelitsha, Langa and Gugulethu between Saturday night and early Sunday morning, leaving 11 people dead and 2 others wounded in a matter of hours. No arrests have yet been made. Well, to discuss this and general violent and gang-related crime in the province, we're joined by the newly appointed Western Cape Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Sizakhele Dyantyi. General, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Now, you've been in the job for about a week and a half, just about 10 days, if my count is correct. We've been looking forward to speaking to you. To ask more generally, what is it that is top of priority for you as you come into the role as Provincial Commissioner in terms of strategy and or otherwise direction that you're steering the province into?
Thank you very much and good evening to the listeners. As I appointed in terms of as the Western Cape Provincial Commissioner, my first priority is to address the gun violence in the Western Cape. The reason for that, gun violence is the one that creates problems for the Western Cape, because all these incidents where there is multiple murders, it's initiated due to the fact that there is a circulation of illegal guns in the Western Cape. So that is the priority number one that we need to focus on in terms of addressing the issues of extortion, the issues of murder, issues of taxi violence that is taking place in the Western Cape.
Yeah, let's talk about specifically gang violence and gun violence in particular related to that. The President had deployed Operation Prosper to the Western Cape, where the military is seemingly there to assist as a force multiplier to mitigate and to bring calm to the streets, particularly of the Cape Flats. Now, that seemingly hasn't been the result since the deployment of the SANDF and since the start of Operation Prosper. In fact, we've seen unabated gun violence and gang violence in the Western Cape. From your assessment coming into the job, has Operation Prosper been successful?
At this moment, I will say, in terms of the result that has been presented to me, there is a progress on the stations that were the focus station related to the operation, because I have seen the results. I have seen in some of those areas there is a movement in terms of the downtrend, in terms of the murders, like murders, attempted murders, but there's still a lot of work to be done. That's why we need to ensure that we also look in terms of how do we organize ourselves in order to ensure that the Operation Prosper become the best in terms of giving the result that is desired.
You're effectively, the lead on Operation Prosper in the province. So you have to then devise that strategy and bring that change about. What is it that you will be changing about the current configuration of Operation Prosper to give some level of comfort to families and communities across the Cape Flats, especially those who live in fear and the tyranny of gang violence and gun violence?
Yes, so what we are going to be doing in terms of reorganizing ourselves, we need to look to the resources and also look in terms of the resources that we put in terms of Operation Prosper and the unit that are linked in terms of that. We want to use those operational units that are dedicated to do a specialized job, like the TRT, also the AGU, and the other unit that we might use that are specializing. Because I think when they work close in hand with the army, then they will give the desired result. That's why we said we need to go back, reorganize ourselves, and refocus in terms of ensuring the areas that are having gang violence, then we are dealing with.
Yeah, and just lastly, what level of reporting have you gotten about the mass shootings that took place last weekend where 11 people were found dead?
In terms of that it is the incident that related, one was in Langa, which is not one of the area that is a hotspot related to the focus in terms of Operation Prosper. But what we have done in terms of that, we have ensured that there is a deployment that is focused in terms of addressing the situation in Langa related to the multiple matters. The other one was in Barcelona in a formal settlement in Gugulethu, where also it was within the period where we have deployment, but not specifically in that area. But the deployment was busy with the operation on the other area when this thing happened. Then the third one was in Lingele to West, where it is confirmed that it is a extortion-related matter, which we are also pursuing in terms of ensuring that we arrest the perpetrators.
Yeah, and are there any leads at this moment? Because these are communities and families left reeling after that mass shooting, which has become quite ubiquitous and commonplace across the Cape Flats. Are there any leads on imminent arrests?
At this stage, there's no arrest that we have been, as we're still pursuing. And I think last week, as I was attending the area in Langa where there was multiple murder took place, I also ensured that the South African police have already asked people to come forward, and also we put forward a reward up to 100,000 for anyone who can provide an information that can lead to the arrest of the perpetrators and also for the purpose of successful prosecution.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for this and for your time on this evening. Really do appreciate it. That is Lieutenant General Sizakhele Dyantyi, the newly appointed police commissioner, provincial police commissioner of the Western Cape.